We have a question who I think, my guess, is not just from Facebook user. I believe it's from Donna Ord. This is a Facebook thing where you have to give Facebook access to show their name, and this person has it. But my guess is it's Donna Ord because she used to own a food truck, Carnage Asada, a great Asian Mexican. I don't know what she would call it, but it was great burritos, kimchi, and all that stuff. Without a lot of events going on, she says. I think she's saying this. If it's not her, I don't know. Without a lot of events going on and more people working from home, what's your sales strategy starting out?
So we're going to be in a lot of places. We're going to be at the shipyard. You guys know they're never off. They're always down there. So we plan on getting a lot of people down there. There still are people out there working in the field, like downtown Newport News at City Hall. So that's one of the biggest things with being a mobile bakery and bistros. We're able to go a lot of different places, and we're allowed to be flexible with our sales strategy. So we can offer delivery to people that are at home. We can do online sales. We might be parked outside of your local local home improvement store or something like that.
I was wrong. It's Chris Hill.
Hi, Chris.
Who is a former guest of the show, Chef Chris Hill. He's going to be so mad at me for saying that. If you haven't checked out his stuff, it's wonderful.
But, yeah, he's great.
Interesting with Donna though is she to piggyback what you were saying is she would always say something like, "If you're not moving, you're losing."
Right.
And in that world, especially here, I think in other cities, it might work. Other cities across the country, it would work differently because there's a huge density. Even during COVID, I think there would still probably be a huge density of food trucks. That's my guess. I don't know. But like she was like, we had to go to different locations all the time because one day it would work here. But then if we tried doing it a second day, you'd be screwed. And so I think that's a great strategy so far.
And I think that, other things, the thing that I like so much is just the fact that you are able to go wherever things are happening. Whereas if you had a storefront, you're at the mercy of everybody coming to you. And so like right now you're able to think out of the box. And I know that we've talked about different things that we can do to help your business. I mean, like right now, the housing market in our area is on fire. And I had a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday who's a realtor. And I was like, hey, when you're having a big open house, you know who to call because we got a great food truck there. And he's like, dude, I'm totally in. I did that once before. And we had the biggest showing of any open house that we had.
That's the response we get from almost everybody we talk to. Even the guy we buy our cars from here, there's like a car wash next to him and everybody's just, going at us, park here, because it's good for them. It draws people to them, but mutually beneficial. So
when it seems like a food truck would seem, I'm not a doctor, so it would seem like a food truck would feel more safe for people because they're outside, they can be more spaced out. From a restaurant perspective, like me, I've been to a restaurant once since COVID hit. It is what it is. But a food truck, you walk up. I mean, what's the difference between that and go to the Mac Shack? Not much.
Yeah.
So primarily based in Newport News, is that what I'm hearing?
Primarily, yes. For, getting started off in the beginning, that's where they wanted us to be mostly. That's where our biggest market is. And then a big part of my mission and my passion is serving those in underserved communities. So places where there is a lack of food, especially quality and affordable food. Tim knows this about me from my pitch he heard 10,000 times. But that's a huge, huge part of what I want to do. And it's most important to me. So that's my reason for going downtown. I lived down there for 10 of the 11 years that I was here. And I know how hard it is to get food. I know how far away everything is. And I know how it feels not to have a nice place to go in your own neighborhood.
Tim, I want to piggyback off that. Okay, so I think that's admirable. That's fantastic that you want to do that. As someone whose first lesson in business was that you severely undercharged someone by telling someone $20 for a cake that ended up costing $90 and didn't use your time, didn't even have your time in that. How do you serve those that are underserved? and still from a business perspective make the capital necessary so that your family can put food on the table as well.
So we put that into our approach to the menu like a lot. Breakfast, as you know, is not very expensive to make. It is like the item that people go out for the most, I guess, which is weird to me because it's the simplest and the cheapest in my mind, but that's what people like. So again, as Tim knows, my family has a background in food. My father-in-law is an executive chef. He's done it for over 20 years. My mother-in-law worked for professional bakeries for over 15. So we were able to design a menu that allows us to provide quality food and still keep prices low enough to where my family continues to eat. So lots and lots of research. I didn't just jump in like I did with my cake. It was a lot of research, a lot of pricing, a lot of surveys and stuff, finding out what people wanted and combining that with, our idea of what good food is.
And I think that the other aspect too is it's not necessarily underserved, not necessarily in the sense of people can't afford it, underserved in the sense there's not a lot of choices for people to go visit. So the Southeast community of Newport News, I believe the phrase you used was it's essentially a food desert that people have to travel miles and miles and miles to find an establishment to go to.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah, the nearest breakfast restaurant, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the area. Tim, I know you are, but IHOP is all the way over in Hampton Coliseum. That's the nearest sit-down breakfast restaurant.
From downtown?
Yeah, from downtown Newport News. No coffee shops. I've been working with the city, some of the representatives from the city of Newport News, and even now they're asking about us being down there and parking outside of City Hall because they don't have any restaurants. There's no cafeteria. There's nothing. So if they want to go somewhere, they have to, go all the way to the other end of Newport News or Midtown just to get something to eat.
You should try to figure out a way for them to pay you to be there and them to pay you to because I remember actually a few years ago that they were trying to bring in something like a D-Egg from downtown Norfolk over there because there was no breakfast joint in downtown. So yeah, I mean, food desert, that's a great way to describe it.
Yeah. And just again, I love the mobility factor that you have that allows people. And so what you have and what you can work with, whereas another thing that you're able to do is the neighborhood that I live in, there's the adjacent neighborhood, there's the community pool that the homeowners association has. And I think they have like a food truck Friday thing where they announce it to their entire neighborhood. And there's just at a time where not a lot of people want to go out, to Zach's point, to go sit down in a restaurant, but people are still itching to get out of the house and have something different than with something they make. You have that option to go where the people are. And I do think that that right now, if any big restaurant was starting, they have to totally rethink how they would open their restaurant so that they could accommodate those people. And with you, I think you're able to start from scratch so that you don't have to retool anything. You can start with the way that it needs to start right off the bat.
It's exciting. I'm still really excited. It's been in the making for a few years and there have been a lot of ups and downs, but I'm still excited. I'm very excited.
What's the favorite thing on your menu?
My favorite thing? The peach pecan waffle. It's so good. So good.